This user commented that the only way to lose weight after 40 was intermittent fasting, point blank period. Is it true that intermittent fasting is the only way to lose weight as you age? The reality is, no, that's just simply not true. And if we really take a look at what intermittent fasting is, it's essentially shortening your eating window so you're skipping meals throughout the day. And why that can help you lose weight in one very specific way, it helps you manage your calories. And this is true of all diets. Every single diet that you will ever see or follow attempts to manipulate something behavioral in order to help you control your calories, because that is simply how weight gain and loss works. Now, intermittent fasting can have some benefits. Namely, it can help you curb your cravings. It can help you have better relationship with food. It can give you more flexibility around eating out and avoiding boredom eating and stress eating and working through a lot of those challenges. But intermittent fasting is not for everyone, and it's certainly not the only way to lose weight, especially after 40, because there's an important thing to keep in mind. In fact, this is a justification for the reason not to follow intermittent fasting. And it's one of the most common ways that I encourage my clients who are over 40 years old to actually eat more frequently throughout the day, to avoid what I call the triad of overconsumption. When you skip meals early in the day, three things can happen once you get into the evening time. You go into the evening hours incredibly hungry because you haven't eaten much throughout the day. You have an abundance of calories left over to consume because, again, you haven't eaten anything. And your willpower is now at its lowest point that it's going to be. And now we get to the end of the day and we're hungry and we have an abundance of calories and we have no more willpower. Each of those pieces is going to contribute to you overeating your goals for that day, despite what you're attempting to do. And here's why. The first, we're hungry. So now we have a motivation to eat something because we have the physical sensation, often uncomfortable, that we are starving. Now we're driven to eat. The second is we have an abundance of calories left over. What this gives us is a justification to eat something that's either high in calorie or high quantity. So now we have a justification to eat something that's likely going to send us over our calories. And we now have no more willpower to try to control any of these choices that we're making. So a quick point on willpower. Most people find that they can start the day pretty good, something that's lower calorie and better for their goals. But as the day goes on, people tend to experience that their choices start to diminish and deteriorate. And the reason for that is we have the most mental capacity first thing in the morning before we've exerted all of our willpower, which we know is a finite resource. Every decision we make throughout the day reduces the willpower that we have left. So by the time we get into the evening, most people, they find the majority of overeating happened in the later hours of the day, and it's because the majority of people now have their least amount of willpower left to exert over their nutritional choices. So we're often going to choose unhealthier, more processed, higher calorie foods, and those three variables in combination are going to push you to overeat day in and day out. If you are struggling to lose weight and you're thinking that skipping meals to reduce calories is the only way to do it, I'm here to tell you that you might need to do the opposite. You might need to actually redistribute your calories evenly throughout the day, better manage your appetite levels so that you don't have as intense a desire to eat so much and you have less justification because now you don't have as many calories before going over your calorie goal. And even though you're going to have low willpower, this is where planning comes into play. So the benefit of meal prepping is ultimately that you're making decisions in the future when you have the mental energy now. So it's not waiting until you have no willpower to make the decision about what you're going to eat. It's making the decision about what you're going to eat before you get to the point where you're likely to make a poor decision. If we redistribute the calories earlier, we have a plan of what you're going to eat on that particular day. You can reduce the level of hunger that you feel, so you have less of a drive to overeat. You then also, because you've used more of your calories for the day, given that you're tracking them, now you have less justification to choose something high calorie. And if you have a plan of what you're going to consume in the evening, now you're getting rid of the need to exert your willpower, and that is going to reduce or even eliminate all of the three pieces of that triad of overconsumption that's ultimately going to lead you to fail at your plan for that particular day. And if you can do this consistently enough and staying in your calorie deficit long enough that you actually begin to see the weight loss. I hope you find this information helpful. And if you did, make sure you give my channel a follow and stick around for more weight loss tips that are actually going to work using fitness, psychology, nutrition science. So make sure you give me a follow. Make sure you're subscribed for new video updates. And if you have any questions at all, comment on this video with your specific nutrition or fitness questions so that we can get you the answers you need to see results.